Smack talking where the legends live and the rookies get schooled in law. This ain't just talk. This is Smack Talking Raw. You ready, Pinky? Judge always Ron. Let's lay the smack down. Boom!
What is going on? It is another episode of Smack Talking Raw. I'm your boy Pinky. Ron Stradamus will join us when he gets business done. I'm riding solo for a little bit. So if I do get excited, I am watching the Avs game as well. So you might see me go a little crazy. It's playoff hockey. Nothing better. Nothing better. All right. Got a lot to talk about. We got a short amount of time. We're going to get rolling. All right, let's see. First of all, let's start out with another couple releases. These seem a little off from the previous week when everybody got released. Looks like a lot of these guys, Tonga Loa, his contract was probably coming to an end. And then JC Mateo's contract probably coming to an end after a one-year deal. Those are no surprises. It's kind of a bummer that we did not get. I don't feel like we didn't get Jeff Cobb in WWE, right? Jeff Cobb, when you go out and watch his highlights from Indies and other places he's been, I mean, for a guy his size, he's awesome. You need guys that can fight Oba and that look right fighting Oba. Jeff Cobb could do that. So right now, that's one of the problems I'm seeing. We'll talk more about that. But yeah, Jeff Cobb, Tongaloa, thank you for your service and good luck out there. The big shocker was the New Day. New Day being released to let go from their contracts after what the rumor is they were asked to restructure their deal they signed 2 years ago. And because they were getting paid some pretty big money. And they probably told TKO to go kick rocks, right? There's no reason to take a pay cut on a contract when they can make money. They can go out to AEW. I'm hoping they go to AEW and have some fun over there with the tag teams they got over there in AEW. So Kofi, Xavier, same thing. Thank you for your service. Good luck. I'm sure you will be. They're gonna make money. The New Day. Those guys are awesome. They're entertainers in the best sense. And I just think WWE didn't know what to do with them anymore. After Big E got hurt, everything went down. They just don't know what to do. So, all right. Moving into the week. She's coming, guys. She's coming. SmackDown had another vignette of Blake Monroe with some highlight footage, kind of telling everybody who she is. It's I can't wait to see who she goes after first on SmackDown. Whether that's Julia, Kiana James, Tiffany Stratton. I'm ready. She brings it. She's going to be a lot of fun. I cannot wait to see the glamorous Blake Monroe on SmackDown. It'll make that 3 hours worth watching. Oh. All right, we got to talk about this. As Trick Willie would say, let's talk about it. What are we doing? What are we doing? The funeral of the Gingerbread Man? The Gingerbread Man was a fun thing for a week or two. You know, Sami Zayn dresses up and attacks Trick Williams in the Gingerbread Man costume. Gingerbread Man costume got annihilated by Sami Zayn this week. Do we really need to spend time on a funeral of the Gingerbread Man? Like, that almost kind of makes me feel like, gives me Doink the Clown vibes. Like, what are we doing? This is ridiculous. It's gone too far. I do like my comedy. I love my DanHausen. I love my R-Truth. But this is just taking it a little too far. I am not I'm not feeling this whole gingerbread man thing after last week's SmackDown. We don't need it. Sami Zayn and Trick Williams are having more than there's a good they've got a good feud going on, and they don't need this, whatever this is. We don't need it either. And nobody wants it. We got another Royce Keys spot sighting this week on SmackDown. He actually got 2 segments. He got to wrestle, and then he got to hang with Jacob Fatu. So Royce Keys is another guy that I'm starting to get excited for. As Powerhouse Hobbs in AEW, this guy is just a monster. I love monsters who can just get in and have a good time and just do things that you just shouldn't humanly be possible. The way these guys can move at that size is ridiculous. Like, let's build up Royce Keys and let's get him and Oba in a ring together. Who's with me? Somebody's got to be with me. Royce Keys has got it. He's a lot of fun. Hopefully, he'll get some more time on TV. Things are looking good. All right. This one, I'm actually, being that I'm a big NXT fan, I watch a lot of NXT. I have been watching these ladies for the last year and a half. Fatal Influence is an awesome heel faction. These ladies work. JC Jane is a great ringleader. There's always a little bit of dissension amongst the group because JC Jane's kind of the main bitch, if you say, with Fallon Henry and Lainey Reed kind of behind. I'm still kind of shocked they brought all 3 ladies up to the main roster, but it just works. And they got immediate heat on SmackDown, like immediate boos. It was crazy. Like, it was amazing to see. Like, that's what I want. I want the crowd to react. And they're reacting to Fatal Influence. Another great match. They had Rhea last week. They got Charlotte this week. And, we'll see where it goes. But right now, they're actually doing a pretty good job of building Fatal Influence and having them attack some of these tag team / main event stars. Charlotte, Alexa, Rhea. I'm digging it. So keep it up, girls. Should be fun. All right, let's see here. So we got it. Here we go. There we go. All right. Another call up that happened, we discussed last week, is Ricky Saints was called up from NXT. When he came out, there was no reaction from the crowd. I do feel like this was a fumble by WWE of not doing a vignette. Not, they kind of had this one as kind of a surprise. I don't think Ricky Saints was on that level. Like, you can have Oba be a surprise because Oba was on that level. Trick Williams was on that level in NXT. Ricky Saints was kind of right below it. What would a vignette do for Ricky Saints, showing he's like one of the guys one of the few guys that has beat Oba Femi straight up in a match and won the title off of Oba Femi? That would have done wonders for him, because now people are thinking, I love Oba. He beat Oba. I'm curious now who this Ricky Saints guy is. What's his story? What's his thing? So I do think that was a mistake. I do love this angle. Obviously, Cody and him have wrestled before in AEW, so they do have a history. They're actually really good friends outside the ring as well. So I love that they're working together, and Cody's trying to help, give Ricky some shine. I like that. The match was enjoyable. It's fun to watch. Still confused on the ending of this match. I don't know if it made sense to officially bring Gunther over to SmackDown to terrorize everybody on Friday night. I love Gunther. He's my guy. I guess they didn't have anything for him to do over on Raw, so it's time to move him over to SmackDown. It seems to be something they're doing. It sounds like CM Punk is coming over to SmackDown as well. So Gunther is going to come over to SmackDown, and they kind of need him right now with Drew McIntyre out filming a movie. You don't know. Jacob Fatu's kind of going back and forth. The MFTs are kind of lost at this point. Solos, at this point. So, what do we got for Gunther to do? Let's have him go attack Cody Rhodes. Let's have him go stir up some shit over there. Oh. Well, thank you. But I'm not so sure this makes a lot of sense to have Gunther take the belt off of Cody, but maybe they're gonna get a Clash in Italy match going, and Gunther can win the belt over there, tour it around Europe for a little bit, just like Drew got to tour it around when he beat Cody in Berlin. Gunther can do the same thing and kind of go around Europe. I believe there's a stat like Gunther really doesn't lose in Europe, so Cody's in trouble if this ends up happening, and that's okay. We've talked about it on the show before. Cody chasing the title is probably a lot more fun and interesting than when he has the title. So even though he's QB1, he's the guy. Sometimes you want the good guy to have to chase and take it back from the bad guys. That's kind of SmackDown in a nutshell. SmackDown was kind of blah this week. I've enjoyed a lot of it going back to 3 hours, but it's not been the last couple of weeks just really haven't been great leading up to WrestleMania. So hopefully they'll get it back on track. And then we'll talk a little bit about Monday Night Raw coming up here. Let's switch over. All right. Monday Night Raw leads off with Seth Rollins coming out and then just getting destroyed by Bron Breakker. And they did this segment pretty much twice with Bron Breakker destroying Seth Rollins. Leading up to their match this weekend at Backlash, which is what we will discuss with our Backlash predictions. Hopefully my co-host will make it to the show by then to talk about that. The Bron Breakker, I don't know. I don't know if I'm digging it. I don't know if I do feel like Bron Breakker, unfortunately, his groin injury helped lose momentum for him right before Oba Femi came in, and that has just killed him. So let's go back. What did I do? There we go. I don't know what I did there. We got another Finn Balor sighting getting whooped by the Judgment Day. I don't know about anybody else. Can we just get rid of the Judgment Day at this point? I really don't find Judgment Day interesting. I find the individuals of Judgment Day interesting. I love Liv. I think Raquel Rodriguez was probably the most improved performer of 2025. Roxanne is an up-and-comer that's interesting. Finn Balor is always great. He can put on great matches against anybody. JD McDonough, he's like a carbon copy of Finn Balor, and he can put on great matches. And then you've got Dominic Mysterio, the greatest luchador of all time. He's awesome. But as a group, something falls short. I just don't like them as a group. Something about it. Maybe it's run its course. Kind of tired of it. Time to break them up, have them fight each other, and move on to something else. So kudos to JD McDonough getting a win over Finn Balor as they continue on this rivalry they have going after they kicked Finn out of the Judgment Day. I don't really care. The story just it doesn't make me feel anything. Let's move on. All right. So this was the best part of Raw this last week, just kind of breaking it down, just doing a quick review, SmackDown and Raw before we get to Backlash predictions. How cool is Javon Evans and Penta tagging together? Those guys are amazing to watch. They've been the workhorses of Monday Night Raw. So to see them in a match together. And then we've got Ethan Page, another call up, recently called up from NXT. Ethan Page is all ego. He's the man. Love that guy. He is great. The biggest issue with this call up is, again, he didn't have the same thing as Ricky Saints. Like, nobody really knows who he is. So he's kind of having to build that cachet. I feel like if they would have done a vignette of telling us what his motivations are, he's the greatest Canadian or North American of all time. He's full of himself. He's kind of a jerk, but he's a jerk in a good way. I think it would go a long way. I love Ethan Page. I'm so glad he got called up. I think he's going to do some great stuff. He's seamlessly fit into the Intercontinental Championship group here that we've got going on. And thankfully, they pulled out the win in the best match of the night there on Raw. Kudos to Ethan Page, but also Penta and Javon Evans both looked like $1 million. Talked about this a little bit last week. This is the one thing, like, this is where WWE releasing Kairi Sane before this match really makes no sense. Is it possible that WWE pulls another swerve on us and Kairi Sane shows up at Backlash? That would be awesome. I would be all for it because that's what this match is missing. These two ladies are great. They're two of the best wrestlers in WWE. This is going to be a really good match. It just loses some of its steam because I want Kairi to be part of it, and that Kairi has to finally turn on Asuka and say, like, no, I'm not going to take this anymore. I don't have to be treated this way. And I want that payoff. And so it would be great to see us get that payoff, but we're probably not going to, unfortunately. But Asuka missing Iyo Sky, I knew it was going to happen. I was waiting for it to happen. Like it always happens. Whenever Asuka's, got you feeling easy about the situation, she's going to miss you. It's going to happen. So that was a fun segment and enjoyed it a lot. Let's see. We'll talk about this quickly. Somehow the Creed brothers are now luchadors. They didn't have anything else for the Creed brothers to do, so now they've joined original El Grande Americano, and this just kind of helps continue building up the story between original El Grande Americano and the current El Grande Americano, which in Mexico and in AAA, the OG El Grande Americano is a bad guy, and the new, it's like they flip roles. On Raw, the OG Americano is a good guy, and the other one is a heel. And then when they go down to AAA, the one is a baby face, the other one's a heel. It's pretty fun. I'm excited. They've got a mask versus mask match set for May 30th, the big AAA event that's happening. That should be, if you haven't watched a AAA event, I highly recommend it. Their Worlds Collide that happened right before WrestleMania last year was fantastic and one of the best it wasn't even a PLE, but it's like their major event in Mexico. It's one of their best events of the year. So it was awesome. It was awesome. All right. So Ron's not here, so I've got a rant. To pick up the slack for my man. He usually does Ron's rant, has something to talk about. Usually Triple H. We could complain about TKO. We can talk about creative writing. There's just so many things that WWE is missing right now. Nothing is worse than having Oba Femi destroy Brock Lesnar, and then literally creative has nothing for him to do. So they say, well, just have an open challenge. That is the laziest freaking writing of all time. That is ridiculous. Anybody could come up with a story. Anybody. It's not rocket science. Find someone for him to wrestle and let's get it on. Like it's not hard. It's Oba Femi. Put him against anybody. So, I mean, I would have liked to come back to the Rusev. I know he had a little bit of thing with Rusev. Maybe have Rusev fight dirty, and that way it's a little bit tougher match for Oba. Something. He needs a real feud. We need to know more about him. We need to have him talking more. He's great on the mic. I think it will continue to build his overall aura that he has going on. If we can get him into a real feud with someone versus this awful open challenge idea. It was funny to see Kirizawa get in the ring like he was going to be in the match, and then they moved it to Otis, which makes more sense. We don't want to see someone die in the ring. Kirizawa would definitely just be murdered by Obafemi. I can only imagine what a fall for grace would look like when you could drop a guy like 12 feet. It'd be nasty. So Obafemi, open challenges, thumbs down. So awful idea. It's just awful. I hate it. And somebody should get fired. Be like, what's the best idea you got for Oba after WrestleMania? Open challenges. Let's go. The open challenge works with a belt. It does. I mean, Carmelo Hayes, Sami Zayn, Carmelo Hayes, Ilya Dragunov, those guys all did open challenges. They all held the belt for a couple weeks. They all put on great matches. That was great and fun, but it made sense because there was a belt. If Obafemi's standing in there and saying like, hey, who wants to come challenge me? Nobody in that locker room wants to come challenge Obafemi. There's nothing at stake there. Oh, I'm going to come challenge a guy, get my ass beat for nothing. Nobody's doing that. Clip that. All right. Last thing. Oh, we got two more things about Raw. All right. Another NXT call-up, Solruka. I saw her at Saturday Night's Main Event in December last year, wrestle Bailey. Great. I've been watching her on NXT. She's amazing. She's got that smile. It's infectious. Her acrobatic moves are on another level. She is a gymnast. She was a gymnast at Oregon, is her background. You see it in her move set, but she does things that are like you just don't see, especially from the women. You see it from the men. Javon Evans, she's basically like the female Javon Evans. Now, I did like that Becky came out and interrupted her contract signing, which is great. I will be all for a Becky Lynch Solruka match and possibly Solruka taking that IC title now that Becky's lifted it up and made it something. And but then seeing Solruka botch her first Soul Snatcher was not great. She still got it, but she had a botch on it first before she hit it on Becky, and that was a big issue. So Solruka joining Monday Night Raw. So many good things going forward. I can't even. I'm super excited for Solruka. She's gonna have an amazing career. She's gonna do amazing things. We are just at the beginning. All right, as I finish waxing poetic about Solruka, right now, I feel like this is the best thing going right now. I've really enjoyed Jacob Fatu and Roman Reigns. I've also enjoyed that they've kind of continued the story on SmackDown. You've only got 3 weeks between WrestleMania and Backlash. How do you tell a story in that amount of time? Well, you give us the story twice a week until then, and at least we get something. This contract signing went pretty much how we thought it was going to go. Somebody was going to get hit through a table, although the table did not break. It held its own, but it did happen where Jacob Fatu got the death grip on Roman again, tried to put him through a table, got the contract signed. We got the match. This best thing going, and I wish they would have some more of these feuds. This is great because, again, both characters, we know what Roman's trying to hold him down. You're not ready. I'm helping the family. I'm taking care of everyone. I'm going to make sure everyone eats. All the kids go to get good higher education, not just you and your kids. And then, of course, Jacob Fatu's fighting for his family. I'm not fighting for the belt. I'm not fighting because I hate you, Roman. I'm fighting because I want to give my family a better life. I love it. I love that angle. I'm eating that up. That is good writing. So this has been the best thing going. I'm excited for this on Saturday. This should be a really good time. Let me check real quick here on my co-host. I don't know if he's going to make it. All right, dead air. I know everybody hates that. So let's move on. We've got our Backlash predictions, and then we'll call it an early night. So the first match of the night to talk about is The Miz and Kit Wilson have teamed up against DanHausen. Who doesn't love DanHausen? I'm a big fan Hausen. DanHausen's awesome. I love his shtick. I love that if you listen to his voice, he is a huge Simpsons fan. And his mannerisms and his voice, the things he does, he sat and watched all 25, 30 years of The Simpsons. You could just tell. I like that. I like The Simpsons. So I like DanHausen. Currently, this whole back and forth with The Miz has been amazing. When he broke into The Miz's house and he was in his pool, he was messing with his golf simulator. That was amazing. Great stuff. Now, do we need a match at Backlash? I'm not so sure. I'm a big Danhausen fan, but I feel like there's a couple other matches that we could have, technically we could have had Cody and CM Punk. Or I know CM Punk's a little bit older, so maybe he's not quite ready to get back into fighting shape. But I feel like there's a couple matches we could have put on this card versus this. Now, I do feel like this is the place where we were going to have Randy Orton and Pat McAfee versus Cody and Jelly Roll. They kind of replaced it with this. So Danhausen's mystery partner, I feel like it's going to be Jelly Roll. Jelly Roll had I believe Jelly Roll had his calendar cleared to do this. He's going on to summer concert shows with Post Malone again this year, like they did last year, but that doesn't start up till the end of May or early June. So he's got some time available. He could definitely slide in. And Jelly Roll had a little beef with The Miz and Kit Wilson. So this would fit perfectly for Jelly Roll to come in, back up Danhausen, and whoop these two guys in a fun way. Another idea I saw thrown around earlier was CM Punk. Now there was a rumor, or not a rumor, but I guess Triple H, someone mentioned his mystery partner is someone who likes a lot of money. So people are kind of putting that together. He likes a lot of money. CM Punk is actually a good friend of Danhausen's from when Danhausen was on the Indies. He was a fan. And of course, they were also interacted in AEW. So they have a history together. It makes sense. Pepsi Phil joining Danhausen, I'd be all for it. That would be fun. Kind of a step down for CM Punk from where he was. But if you want to bring him down for this to help his buddy Danhausen, that's great. They have had quite a few backstage segments where CM Punk signing posters and he pays Danhausen to leave him alone. So that could happen. Joe Henry's been thrown out as well as the mystery partner. Joe Hendry's stick is a kind of comedy. He's got a serious side to him, but he's also got the comedy side. As you saw Monday Night Raw, his concert, Fire Logan Paul. That is officially on YouTube, I believe. You can catch it on YouTube. So not too bad. So I'm going to give it a second. My co-host might be joining us, but Danhausen, Joe Hendry, there's something there. I think Joe Hendry can pretty much match with anybody and be fine. He's a fun guy. His stick is good. But that doesn't quite do it for me. The one I think I would really like, and this is just because it'd be great to see The Miz and Kit Wilson get whooped, would be Royce Keys. Royce Keys would be fun to come and back up Danhausen and take out The Miz and Kit Wilson. Now, of course, they haven't really had any interactions with Royce Keys, so that's one of those kind of pulling it just out of thin air. But, as a mystery partner goes, got to have some fun with it. Like, who would you throw in? Who would you tag him with? I've seen in there, one of the things that's possible is have R-Truth tag with Danhausen. That would make sense. R-Truth was a tag team champion with The Miz. R-Truth has had some dealings with DanHausen. God, what did he call him? He called him Asuka when he first saw him. Was calling DanHausen Asuka because of the face paint. So that would make sense as well. Obviously, Damian Priest and R-Truth aren't on Backlash, so R-Truth would be available. It's just, where do you go from there? Is this kind of a one-time thing? What do we do? So I think that's been one of the fun things for wrestling fans to discuss, is like, who's going to be the mystery partner? Who's it going to be? I feel like 90% sure it's Jelly Roll. Like, that's my gut feeling. That it's Jelly Roll. Jelly can get back at Kit Wilson again. He can also get hit, knock out the Miz, have a good time. And again, there'll be a lot of comedic components to this match. It will not be your 5-star wrestling match. This will be your comedic relief match that I enjoy. Wrestling doesn't have to be so serious. It is entertainment. It is having fun. That's what all three of these guys do right now. The Miz is fun, Kit Wilson's great, and DanHausen's on a whole nother level. So when we predict the matches, regardless of who the mystery partner is, DanHausen's winning this match. DanHausen's so over. His merch is so over. TKO loves human monies, and DanHausen will definitely be winning. And again, if the Miz or Kit Wilson take a loss, it doesn't matter. They'll come back the next week and they'll mess with somebody else. Like, it doesn't matter. That's what's great about certain characters. Certain characters, it's okay if they lose. The Miz and Kit Wilson are two of those characters that they don't need a win. DanHausen, he needs a win. He needs to keep the momentum going. We have DanHausen lose, and he looks bad as a wrestler. He'll lose some of his goodwill. Everybody loves DanHausen. Kids, adults, men, women, children, everybody. So DanHausen and whoever he tags with will win that match. And we are on. Let's talk about this one again. Let's talk about it, as Trick Willie would say. So we got Sami Zayn and Trick Williams, a rematch of WrestleMania. I don't know if you guys have noticed, but I think Sammy's heel turn has already happened, and we weren't paying attention to it. Trick Williams is obviously a babyface at this point. Everybody loves him. Oh, is he here? It's Rostradamus, everybody.
Yo,
he made it. You guys look at just my ugly face. Yeah, you can see Ron's ugly face as well.
Man, so I don't mean to interrupt on the show, but I had the client that I needed to deal with that unfortunately had it unravel right in front of my very face. So thank you for taking it on, Pink Dog. I see that we got the Trickster versus Sami Zayn.
Well, we'll go back one real quick because I literally had just moved.
Okay, cool.
So we talked about this. I did talk about my ideas for the mystery partner. Who do you think could be the mystery partner?
I think that they're going to do the dum-dum and bring in either Mr. Iguana or they're going to bring in John Cena.
John Cena's not going to do a match. That ain't happening.
Okay.
John Cena's at Backlash, but he's at Backlash because he's promoting WWE Club. He's never wrestling again.
All right. So so in this case, I think it might be Mr. Iguana.
I like that. I didn't think about that.
Who did you say?
So I said, so if you wanted to get a guy to come in that needs some hype and can just beat the crap out of the Miz and Kit Wilson, I said Royce Keys.
Oh,
he needs some hype and some rub, and he's starting to get some TV time. So I'm on. I like Royce Keys, so I'm on it. Now that doesn't quite make sense. It's kind of pulling it out of thin air. I did mention Joe Hendry. Joe Hendry has a comedic stick to him, right? He would kind of fit in this. I mentioned R-Truth. Same thing. R-Truth is tagged with The Miz. He's fought against The Miz. The Miz betrayed him. I think he's had some stuff with Kit Wilson. He did have a couple things with Danhausen calling him Asuka, right? So R-Truth would fit
Yes.
in this. But if I had to put money on it, I'm betting on Jelly Roll.
That's a better call, actually. I actually can see that because Jelly Roll, he's doing his time, and to be in a comedic match and to have it be real lighthearted, I think it would be a great space for Jelly Roll to fit in within this particular showcase. Good call. Good call. Great call.
And it's just, I do think the rumor is it was Randy Orton, Pat McAfee, Cody, Jelly Roll at Backlash. And then with Pat McAfee just deciding, hey, you know what? The fan reaction to this whole thing was awful. I'm out. What do? Jelly Roll had already cleared his schedule. He doesn't start the summer tour till later this month. He's available. So I think they threw it together. But if that's what happens, I think it makes sense.
Yes, I think that would be a great call to have Jelly Roll in that particular match. Jelly Roll's been fantastic in his WWE performance for being, I mean, he is not by any stretch of the imagination the best wrestler there is, but the work that he's put in has definitely, Bad Bunny is the best entertainer that's ever crossed over into the world, with the exception of Logan Paul, because Logan Paul, before he got a WWE contract, he was definitely a part-timer. So,
and I think Bad Bunny would get to where Logan Paul is right now if he was doing it full time.
Yeah, Bad Bunny was amazing when he came in there. But for this match, I say Jelly Roll. So who do you think is going to win this one?
I said Danhausen's going to win.
Okay.
Danhausen's so over, man. Like TKO likes its money, human money. So
yeah,
they know what they're doing.
I agree. Danhausen and whoever his partner is, they're going to win. I don't care if he gets to Zawa. He's going to win. He's going to win.
With
sure.
Backlash is 5 matches currently as we go through the predictions. Do you think they might add a 6th? Is that a possibility? They're going to stay with 5?
Unfortunately, I'm oblivious to all 5 matches that we have right now because I've been watching programming. I haven't been watching the actual shows recently because the product has just been okay. I mean, last night was better than most matches that we've been watching recently. The show had a lot more substance than at other times, but I'm just looking at the whole that happens within WWE. For example, they have Backlash every year, and what they should have is a number 1 contenders match that fights the champion at Backlash, because then you're watching 2 different stories going on, and you start getting your horses and seeing them line up, and then you're excited for a Fatu versus Roman Reigns versus Fatu, who is technically a SmackDown wrestler, all of a sudden shows up on Raw, declares himself to fight Roman Reigns, and that nobody tests him to say, wait a minute, you're not even on our brand or anything like that. You got to earn it, whatever, right? There's just no storyline to it.
You go back to SmackDown, punk.
Yeah, you go back to SmackDown, or I'm going to send you back to SmackDown. Now you got some beef with each other, so now you can build him to like earning his chance to be at Roman at the very least. For him to just walk on the show and say, I'm challenging your champion to a title match makes 0 sense to me, but that's just me. For those of you that are watching right now, what do you guys think about it?
Well, we'll get there. I talked a little bit about it when I did the rundown for SmackDown and Raw. All right, so we both got Danhausen and the mystery partner. All right, now let's talk about it. Trick Willie and his lemon pepper steppers. I do like that now he's like, man, it's almost summertime. I got to get rid of that fur coat. I'm going to go with a white vest now. Like, he's sticking with the white. It's his thing now. I think he'll go back to the coat once it's wintertime. But
well, he's not here in Colorado today, obviously, because we're getting ready to get a snowstorm on my birthday of all darn things tomorrow. We're supposed to have like a significant amount of snow here in Colorado tomorrow. That's crazy.
Let's go. Happy birthday, my man. It'll be a good time.
Sir,
May 6th is your birthday?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. So another year wiser for you, my friend.
Not a Steve Weiser either.
Oh, Sami Zayn, Trick Williams. I talked about it a little bit. I want to get your take on this real quick, since you joined us late.
You know, Sammy. Okay, go ahead. Ask
I was going to ask, what do you think about this gingerbread man funeral they're going to have on Friday night?
It's funny. I don't know how funny it's going to be until we actually watch it, because WWE, one of the things that they do really well from time to time is they'll have comedic comedy stuff that'll just be epic, and we'll look back on it at the time and it'll be like great. Sami Zayn's inevitable heel turn that he's delving into right now is a great way for them to up Trick Williams' ante a little bit, because Sammy's going to cheat, and I actually like Sami Zayn as a villain. He's a lot more entertaining as a villain than he is as a good guy, because as a good guy, I just want to see him get punched in the face. I really do. So the gingerbread funeral on Friday, I'm looking to see how they pull it off and what that sets off in Sammy in some kind of way to get him his character arc to get a little bit more aggressive with regards to defending his territory. What do you think about it?
I'm nervous, man. I don't know if I like it. I thought the gingerbread man was a funny thing because, again, Trick Williams was calling Sami Zayn the gingerbread man.
Yep.
And then him and Little Yachty come out with the gingerbread man. That's hilarious.
Hilarious.
And then the next week, Sami Zayn is the guy in the gingerbread man costume, and then he whoops both of them with a cane. That's fun. And then this segment this last Friday was Sami Zayn kind of beating up this robotic gingerbread man and ripping it apart, and now all of a sudden we're playing up it didn't hit for me. And I like comedy in my wrestling. I'm big on it. It didn't quite hit for me. And so I'm hoping, like you just mentioned, maybe I'll like it more if Sammy is really evil and does some more crazy evil stuff. Because I do think the heel turn's already happened.
Yeah, it's already happened. But now this is going to be that character arc that just takes it to that next level.
So, obviously, Trick Williams is still winning. Like,
let me put on my lemon pepper steppers. You know what I'm saying? That's what he does.
I feel like we're gonna have a lot of chalk on these predictions this time because I just don't see them having Trick Williams lose the belt right now. I do think after this, he has some fun stuff coming up. Hopefully with Ilya Dragunov, who's been pretty much absent. Maybe they gave him some time off because he had put in quite a bit of work. He was one of the warriors of SmackDown for a couple months. I'd love to see Ilya and Trick. The Carmelo Hayes Trick feud, that to me is a SummerSlam like main event. No, I mean it's not gonna be main event, but that's when I'd be like, yeah, I want to see that. I would pay money to watch that. So
I actually think that they can get a lot of legs out of Carmelo and Trick. They could probably do that from SummerSlam all the way to Royal Rumble, actually, to just get the maximum out of that match. And I could probably see them being in some kind of like casket match or Hell in a Cell, to end their feud at Royal Rumble to just give it a different feel. I don't think WWE/TKO is going to take it to that level, but that would be a great way, because you didn't get a chance to watch that feud when it was happening because Carmelo Hayes was the dude. He was the guy, and he brought Trick Williams to be his muscle or his heavy, his proverbial diesel. And what happened was that Trick Williams started getting over because everybody started chanting, "Whoop that Trick, whoop that Trick," and then it just picked up. So then Carmelo, who was the dude, started having Trick Williams starting to like get more spotlight than him. Then the jealousy ensued, and then they just had natural beef with each other. So the fact that they're both in the main roster, the thing that WWE didn't capitalize when they had DIY together is their feud was legendary in NXT.
Right.
Their feud of where they hated each other and fought in a warehouse and all that sort of stuff was fantastic. But they brought them to the main roster, and it's like people couldn't get with the DIY brand because they didn't have the same stick that they had when they were DIY. So I hope that they could go a little bit further down the line with Trick and Carmelo. I think that would be fantastic.
Love it. Trick Willie. All right. I talked about this a little bit after their segment on Monday Night Raw, but we've got Iyo Sky and Asuka, and I'm going to go out on a limb. This will be the best match. This will be the best wrestling match of the night.
I can actually say I can see this being the best match of the year.
Ooh, I like that.
Because those two girls, I mean, I look at Asuka and I always remember with her 900-day streak as the champion and fighting Charlotte Flair at WrestleMania back at WrestleMania 32 or 32. No, was it 32? But whichever one it was. And when she lost, it was disappointing because she was on fire. But she's an incredible wrestler, and I think these two are going to bring out the best in each other. Asuka's more of a mat wrestler. Iyo is a high flyer. So to see those two styles connect and try to put together a story, I'm eagerly excited about watching that match in its entirety. For sure.
Now I talked about a little bit of to me it doesn't hold the same weight without Kairi Sane. Like they built that story up. Kairi Sane completely getting disrespected by Asuka week in, week out. Kairi Sane kind of being like, I want to leave. I want to be with you, Iyo. Like kind of that back and forth. Not getting that payoff kind of hurts. Is it possible that WWE pulls a swerve like they did with R-Truth last year? Now, there was a lot more we want truth, and like the wrestling community let it be known, like, pay the guy. We want him around. We want him in the locker room. It hasn't been quite the same response for Kairi Sane.
It would be incredible if Kairi came back to finish off this story. They just pay her for that, and maybe they bring her back in because like these are two of the best women wrestlers. Everybody always gives Becky the nod and Rhea Ripley the nod, but these are two of the best wrestlers in all of the world right now. I mean, they're not Toni Storm. They're never going to bring down the house with a bloodshed match or anything like that, and they're not going to give the greatest promos. But as far as their in-ring ability, they're fantastic at doing what they do. So I'm excited about the match. If Kairi shows up, this will be a 5-star match. If she doesn't show up, they could still put on a 5-star match.
So the one thing I like about both of their characters, because again, English is not their first language. Iyo is so bubbly and so smiley, and like she just like you want to root for her, and she puts on a great match every time. And then Asuka, just speaking Japanese makes me go, oh, I want nothing to do with that girl. I don't want to mess with her. Like, so even though they're not like, you know, on Toni Storm's level on the mic, I feel like they can still pull off what needs to be said, even if you can't understand them.
Yeah, you know, the division is hurt a lot with Bianca being out hurt, and Naomi with baby, and now Bianca with baby. Like, God bless them that they're having babies and being able to move it forward. But it's like, this is a lot of weight for these girls to carry inside of the Backlash to perform. They should and they will perform, but I think there's an unfair expectation that can be put on them to like, there's no story carrying them because they don't have this going on behind them. But I just am so excited to watch this match and to just dig into it and be able to see it just in its full, full glamour.
This has got such a story behind it that this should have happened at WrestleMania. Like,
yeah,
absolutely should have been at WrestleMania. Cool that we're getting into Backlash because again, I think this is the best match of the whole weekend. Will be this match, and Iyo Sky will be. Hopefully, I wish it was for a belt, but she will be victorious over Asuka, and Asuka will maybe show her some respect. Maybe, probably not.
I'm gonna agree with you. I believe Iyo Sky is gonna win this match. She, her character arc is that her and Liv Morgan got to get down. Her character arc is that she's got to fight against the Judgment Day and everything like that. Whereas Asuka goes nowhere if she becomes the winner of this match. Like, where does she go?
Well, and that's the one thing about both of these ladies is really where do they go after this match? So fingers crossed Creative has something in mind for them because Lord knows they didn't. Let me talk about that since you're here.
Before you click off of that, if this match happens at WrestleMania, at least Kairi Sane can get her payoff on the storyline before she leaves. They don't put this match on. They in that storyline, which made no sense. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So it's like, ugh. Go ahead.
Right. All right. Well, we'll finish Backlash predictions, and I want to. There's something I did the rant for you this week, and so then I do want to hear what you would have to say about it. Bron Breakker, Seth Rollins, another match that in another universe happens at WrestleMania. They were building up to it. It made sense. It was going to be great, and then Bron Breakker hurt his groin, pulled a groin, so had a hernia surgery. So Seth Rollins, Bron Breakker, they've had a back and forth. Bron Breakker's been attacking Seth Rollins. Seth Rollins has been attacking him. Seth Rollins has been attacking the Vision. This makes sense. What are you thinking?
So you covered Raw last night, right?
I did.
So Roman storming in and bumping into Seth, it just reminds me of the character arc that TKO is really building towards, which is an inevitable Seth versus Roman match. So what I could see happening here is that there's some kind of interference or something by the Vision that allows Seth Rollins to win. And that continues the beef that Bron Breakker has with Seth. But at the same time, it moves Seth closer to having that inevitable match against Roman Reigns, because they're going to need a night one, night two, and you can't have Seth Rollins be weak going into that match. So I really predict that Seth Rollins is going to have a victory over Bron Breakker. It's not going to be clean, but it will be a pin inside the ring.
Okay. I'm going to go the opposite direction.
Ooh.
Bron Breakker is going to get the win. It won't be clean, so we both agree on that. But Bron Breakker's going to get, because, and I think Santi was talking about this, so I won't take credit for these thoughts. It's said that TKO is trying to go younger. That's kind of what some of these releases were about, and some of the things that are happening, trying to go younger. Bron Breakker was the next big star, and then he gets his hernia, and all of a sudden, Opa Femi and Trick Williams are the next big stars. And nobody's even thinking about Bron Breakker. Like, Bron Breakker's kind of gone down to the mid-card for me right now.
Yeah.
So I feel like Bron Breakker needs this win. And again, I still think this could be a trilogy. And that's where, because we got main event in 2 weeks. Then we got Clash in Italy at the end of the month. And then we've got Night of Champions. And then we have SummerSlam. So there's some time to keep having this feud going. And again, I still think they need to. I think last night was the first time I've seen Bron Breakker and the Vision together.
Yeah, like, since he's been back. Yes, together.
The whole Vision thing's been awful. Since he got hurt and Bronson got hurt. I just he needs the win to get that hype back up, because he's the next guy that you want, him and Oba, him and Trek, him and whoever. It doesn't happen if he's taking L's.
Well, there's a couple things to keep in mind, right? There's some matches that must happen. Seth Rollins is undefeated against Roman Reigns in his career in matches that they've had against each other one-on-one. He's never lost to Roman Reigns.
No,
never.
I'm pretty sure he lost to one of the PLEs to Roman during Roman's reign of terror.
They fought at the Royal Rumble, and it was a disqualification or something like that. Like he didn't lose.
Okay. I mean, they always have. Roman Reigns always had help to win his matches, so that wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah, so that's a match that has to have a conclusion, because these guys are starting to get older, right? And with Roman Reigns saying that he's going to be around through the summer and everything like that, I think that a great way to button that up is to button the whole Shield thing up for now, so they get that taken care of. Bron Breakker is going to dominate WrestleMania for the next 10 years. He's going to be the dude, and he doesn't need to be the dude right now. He just doesn't.
I hate that. I hate that so much. He's cool, but he's not main eventer in my book. He's just not. He doesn't have it. Athletically, he has it. But his character, his stick, everything, it doesn't hit the mark for me.
Right, and that's another reason why I don't see him winning this match is because he's not putting tickets inside of TKO's budget. He has all the glitz and glamour. You put him in the right matches, he'll start to attract people. But as far as his ability to draw money right now, he's not that guy.
So Monday morning, I always watch Good Morning Football to start my day, and the wife is usually there drinking coffee. And she comments, because it's May the 4th, so all the people were dressed up as Star Wars characters. Yeah. She comments, "Where's Seth Rollins?" And I was like, "Honey, he doesn't show up till Wednesday. He's at Monday. He's in Oklahoma for Monday Night Raw." Oh, that's right. Like he's actually making a name for himself. He actually got in a big fight over the draft weekend with a co-host on Good Morning Football, and then the next day they were like, it was just a work. We were messing with you guys," because nobody on the set knew that they were going to get in a legit fight and argument.
Oh wow.
And Seth Rollins literally like walked off the show.
Wow.
But it was just a work. So yeah, I just think Seth Rollins can take a loss. He's Seth freaking Rollins. It doesn't matter. Like
he lost to Gunther. He lost, you got to build up your next people that are going to contend for the title up. And a great way for them to do that is with him beating Bron Breakker at Backlash.
So this is our first disagreement.
Yes.
I've got Bron and you've got Seth. Hopefully I can pick up another point on you. And then we come to the main event. And as I talked about it, I have been really excited about what they've been doing. I've enjoyed this. I like the angle that they've been taking. Jacob Fatu's on an island. He's not part of Solo's group. He's not part of Roman's group. He's not with the Usos. He's on his island. And he's not doing this because he hates Roman Reigns. He's not doing this to be tribal chief. He's doing this to make money. I love that. I want to feed my family. I want to put them in better schools. I want to buy them a better house. I love that angle. To me, that works. What I really have liked about this, since you've only had 3 weeks to tell a story, is Jacob's been telling the story on Raw and SmackDown. He's been pulling double duty. That makes sense. It helps push it along, right? So I'm really excited for this match. What are you thinking?
You know what? I'm a little disappointed that they're rushing this because there is a lot of legs to this. I'm a Jacob Fatu fan, and I respect the tribal chief. I think throwing these guys together so quickly creates a situation to where we as wrestling fans don't let this breathe a little bit, let them start developing some anger and some hatred towards each other. They're kind of like throwing it together, like all of a sudden they're mad at each other, and it's kind of like, all right, Jacob, I get where you're going with this, but I just wish that it would have evolved a little bit longer in the tooth before they just released this match to just come together.
I can feel that. I think it's great because it's, in reality, it's Roman giving Jacob that rub. It's pulling Jacob up to the main event scene. Yeah, and I love that. Because I'm a big Jacob Fatu guy. You know that. Big time. I think he's great. I like it when he's unhinged. I like it when you body slam him and you turn around and he's already on his feet, ready to whoop some ass. Like that. I want that guy. That's who I need. And I like that he's, been putting on some muscle, looking better. Now he's, wrestling with no shirt on. Love that.
Yeah, instead of with the t-shirt for sure.
I wanted to ask, I don't think Roman's going to win. That's my prediction. I don't think they'll take the belt off of him so quickly. I do think they could possibly lead this into a feud throughout the summer as well. Now, one of the things that's come up that just happened recently, Roman was advertised for every Raw in June, and he has now been removed. Now, that was all the European Raws.
Right.
So the word is he's still on for Clash in Italy, but then he will not be on TV until possibly Night of Champions.
That's rough.
Is there a possible, like, are we really going to go a month without our champion on TV?
If I'm being honest with you, I'm 50-50 on this match. Because if the creative team wants to really build up a compelling evidence that we haven't lost sight of what's so, they have Jacob Fatu beat Roman Reigns at Backlash. That's what would make butts get in the seat because it would be unpredictable. My challenge is that Roman Reigns is TKO's boy. He's the money cash cow. He's the best professional wrestler in the industry. He's better than MGF. He's better than Kenny Omega. He's better than Will Ospreay. He's better.
I would argue that, but
there's the draw. The draw. So Roman Reigns is going to.
From the entertainment standpoint and the money putting butts in seats, yes, Roman is number one. He would be, Mount Rushmore. As it comes to actual wrestling, I would probably have some other guys on that list. But when you talk about putting butts in seats, Roman is number one, and that's not an argument.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't matter if you're a good wrestler or not. Dynamite Kid was an incredible wrestler, and he never got out of the tag team phase, right?
You got to have that extra something.
Yeah, and Roman Reigns has that in spades. There's nobody in professional wrestling that has what Roman Reigns has, period. And so when he's on the card, he sells tickets. So with that being said, who do I think is going to win this match between Jacob Fatu and Roman Reigns? I'm going to take a chance on this one. I'm going to say Jacob Fatu is going to win the World Heavyweight Championship.
I'd say I think Roman's going to win, but I do think like the Usos somehow get involved. So it's not clean.
I think the Usos are going to screw over Roman Reigns and hurt him really bad, so he's out for that month that he was supposed to be in on the European tour. And
that comes back to he's still on all the Raws leading up to Italy, and he's still supposed to be in Clash in Italy, and then he's gone for a month.
So in that space, he's now the chaser, and that's more compelling TV for the summertime, is to have Roman Reigns on the chase with his cousins, the Usos, and Fatu now a brand, and that's the new bloodline. And now Roman Reigns is by himself again trying to figure it out. And maybe that brings Solo Sikoa coming back. Maybe that brings Sami Zayn coming back. And then they have ultimately at the end of the year War Games. So they start building towards this War Games match with unique combinations and everything like that.
I hate that. All right. So I got Roman. You've got Jacob. We'll see what happens. This should be fun.
Yes, sir.
I think this will be a good match too. It'll probably. I think this might be Fatu's longest match he's been in. So
yeah.
Good luck to him. All right, we're gonna close the show real quick. We've run a little long. I don't know if we were gonna get to an hour because I was going quick before you got on the show.
Man, I was trying like crazy to get here, and I was like, "This is just one of those things." The Obafemi challenge is stupid. Next, we'll cut that one quick. That's stupid.
Good. You agree with me. It's the most awful thing. Like, he's already a monster because he whooped up on Brock Lesnar. I don't need him whooping up on everybody else.
Have him do main event stuff right now. Instead of having Bron Breakker come out and beat up Seth Rollins, have Obafemi come out and beat up Seth Rollins. Change it up. Like, oh my gosh, Oba's out here. What is he doing? And he beats the hell out of Seth Rollins. And Bron Breakker comes out and he's like, "Nah, dude, thank you for helping me out with Seth." And then they kind of just go their separate ways. And that sets up the face-to-face between Bron and Oba that in the future they're going to fight. But let Oba get in the main event, however that takes. Let him do that. Don't have him in some stupid challenge where he's fighting Maxine Dupree, Otis, Tozawa, El Grande Americano, 1, 7, 8, 25, 36 hike. Let him go be dominant.
Amen, brother. Amen. All right. We have come to the end of the show.
For those of you that had to suffer through Pinky running the show by himself for the first 30 minutes of the show, I'm sorry about it. I don't even know what he talked about. But not just kidding, brother. I know you got out there and got after it. Thank you, Pink Dog, for making that happen. We really enjoy you guys being a part of this show. Subscribe if you haven't already subscribed, like if you haven't already liked, and invite if you haven't already invited. Because if you're not down with being a part of the Smack Talking Raw universe, I got 2 words for you.
Suck
Suck
it!
it!
Love you guys. See you next week.
Yeah. Smack Talking Raw. Ron and Pinky in the house. We the main event, yo, the crowd gon' scream. Cena hit the ring, you can see me theme. CM Punk pipe bomb, truth getting told. Stephanie Kerr in the ring looking bold. Pinky's on the mic, Ron's got the play. Dropping hot takes every single day. Mike's blaze, crowds wild, energy tall. Monday night vibes, we bring it on. From the top rope talk to backstage